Welcome to Macey's Cooking Corner. I'm your host, Afro Danes, and we have today Tracey Armstrong. Hello.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Oh, I have to say I do love your apron. Look at that.
Isn't that
beautiful. Cute? Yes, and it actually matches your shirt too, doesn't it?
I like this color. This is actually the color of my walls at home.
Oh, is it?
I like this color.
You do. I love it. Yes. So for this week, you will see that I am holding a picture. Now, we talked last time we were, Tracey was here with us. We talked about how amazing how we met. I picked up some irises from her garden so that I can place them in my garden. And I found out that my husband's grandma, it was her favorite flower. So it's just a wonderful story. Anyway, but then I got the opportunity to go inside of her home, which was like an art gallery. Now, Tracey is an art major, is that correct?
Art history major.
Art history major, and she has a lot of beautiful paintings that are not just prints, that they are original something.
Yeah.
It's amazing, her home. And we were talking about Europe, and she showed us this one. This is a print though.
This is a print.
This is a print. It's a picture of two. Actually, why don't you explain to the audience what this picture is?
Well, my husband served his mission in Italy, and so when I saw this, I thought he'd really like it, and I got it for him as a gift. It's two missionaries looking through a big archway in Italy, and he said it just reminded him so much of his time there, and so it tickled him.
I think it's beautiful. I love her pictures. Her pictures depict different places around the world and different artists. I mean, really, you are a woman of many talents, I have to say. And so I wanted everyone to know another thing about Tracey that maybe you didn't know. And yeah, this is a beautiful painting. Look at that.
And we're making something Italian today, so it was apropos to the.
There you go. That's right. There is a connection there, by the way.
There was a reason we talked about it.
And today you're going to be making what exactly?
I'm going to be making a bean and bacon sort of soup. It's my version of a recipe that Iron Chef Mario Batali makes, and I got it from a recipe he does, but I've kind of put my own spin on it a little bit. But it's wonderful. It cooks up in just 15, 20 minutes, and I make it almost every week because I love it. And soup to me, everybody go, oh, that's for cold weather, and
which it is coming. It is cold.
It is coming up.
I mean, let's be honest.
That cracks me up because nobody says, oh, I'll have my cold steak now that it's my steak cold now that it's hot. And they don't say, I'd like a baked potato, but true. I sit down because it's hot outside. We eat hot food during the summer all the time. In fact, we stand out over a hot barbecue and barbecue hot food. But then they say, oh no, soup's for cold weather. And I think soup is the best food ever because you can blend so many flavors into it. You can eat so much of depth at one time in soup, and it's my favorite food. And this is one of my favorite soups, and I make it all the time.
Well, I am so excited to learn how to do it. So I'm going to put this behind me, and the first thing I believe Tracey's going to do is chop up an onion.
I'm going to show you how to chop an onion the way a chef chops an onion.
Okay, you can begin.
I am not a great chef, but I like to watch great chefs on TV.
Fabulous.
So, can you see this? So you cut off, this is the root end with the little trail to the end. The roots. The roots.
The roots. I love that.
So you leave that end alone and you cut a little bit off. Oh, got to get that started. Here, just enough so you have a flat surface. And then you've got your root sticking here. And you cut that right in half.
You don't stop by taking the skin off?
I don't. Because you want to leave this on both sides. You want that because there, so that you can keep your your onion together. That holds it all together. Everything's bound right there to that little end.
Okay.
So the reason it's important to chop anything, but particularly onions, carrots, that kind of thing, into similar sizes is so that it all cooks evenly. If you have big pieces, they're not going to be cooking as fast as the little ones, and so they're either going to be undercooked or your little ones are going to be overcooked.
That is true.
So the chef's I'm having a hard time getting this onion
Do
skin
you need this
off.
one taken off as well?
It depends on how much you like onion. I usually only put a half in.
Oh, okay.
But
I love onions, but that's okay.
I do too. We can put
Yeah,
that in.
but when you're talking about the whole family, not everyone likes onions, right?
Yeah, well, and I very often make 2 different meals. I'll make macaroni and cheese, and I'll put
Onions in?
a lot of onions in
one,
in
and
one
then,
for me,
yeah,
and
that's a good idea.
so
Now,
we're all
when I
happy.
make dishes, you know what I do? Instead of chopping, I'll slice it in big chunks, so I still get the flavor in the food. But then when I serve it, I can
You can
see,
take them
yeah,
out.
I can
That's a
take
good
the
idea
onions
too.
out.
And a lot of people will cook with just the vegetables in it, and then they just strain all the vegetables out.
yeah.
But okay, so you've got your onion in half,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and you've got your root intact.
Oh,
And now what you want to do,
That's
and you got to get your
interesting.
hand nice and flat,
right. Ooh,
and you slice
this is where
in.
your hand gets chopped off, right?
No, that's because I'm doing it. And you do it again.
Oh.
So you've got kind of a fan,
Going on
in
there,
there.
yes.
and then you turn it around, and you come down this way on it.
Well, I'll be.
And see, that root is holding the
Everything
onion
together,
so it
yes.
doesn't get all messy.
I like that.
And then you can just,
Oh, wow.
and you've got the
I have
whole
not cut an onion like that
thing.
before.
And then you can turn it at the very edge and
Uh-huh.
just cut the very ends off. But by and large, that they're going to be very similarly sized. I missed a
Yeah.
slice here. But they're going to be in pretty good shape for a soup, and you're not going to get any big clunky pieces.
Right, right.
So there's our professionally
Oh,
chopped
onion that I haven't seen like that with the root at the end.
The root.
The root. I like saying that, you know. It's like the
Oh,
ginger
I just
root.
stepped off camera. Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
I forget. Okay, so we're going to start cooking that.
Oh,
and
the
one
pancetta.
one of the reasons I love coming to Macey's is because they sell
Carry.
this pancetta, and this is the one I like. And most stores don't carry it. A couple of stores in the area did and then stopped, but Macey's always has it, and I always come to Macey's to get it because I love it.
Right, fantastic.
So I've got 2 packages of this. They're 5-ounce packages. I have 2 of those, and I'm going to put them a little bit of olive oil. Oh, I already measured it out. I'm so organized that I forget.
Oh, it's impressive.
So, I'm not used to being organized,
Oh,
so
this is good. Yes, that's
is this
the
that
one,
one?
and you just flick it all the way to the end, and then
so I'm going to put just a couple of teaspoons of oil
Okay.
in, and then I'm going to put my onions in.
Now, do you find sometimes when you cook with onions, you do feel like crying? I mean, do your eyes all water? Does the house just stink of onions? And
Well, the kids say it does, but I love the
Yeah.
smell. But if you have a problem with
Onions
the
and-
eyes,
Yes.
it's your nose that makes you cry. It's not.
I have not
It's-
heard about that one. Tell
it's-
me more.
It's smelling it that makes you cry. If you completely blocked your nose
Yeah.
and took a bite out of an onion with your eyes closed, you wouldn't know if it was an onion or an apple. Because if you can't smell it, you've been stuffed up with a cold or something, and then you can't taste your food.
Yeah.
If you can't smell it, you can't taste it. Even if you can smell just a little, you can taste it.
Well, I didn't know.
But if you like suck on peppermints, then and your
Right, your
nasal
whole-
passages
yes.
are full of peppermint, the onions won't make you cry.
Huh.
You can also cut onions
Interesting.
underwater.
Underwater.
You know, just a little bowl of water and chop it
Oh,
in there,
okay.
and
And
that
then-
won't make you cry because you can't smell it. So we're going to.
So you don't wait for the onions to actually cook
No,
first,
because you
or
want the pancetta to cook with them.
with them? Okay.
Otherwise, the onions will get overcooked by the time you put. Pancetta is Italian version of bacon.
Okay.
It's a little stronger. You can use bacon in this recipe, but bacon tends to crisp up.
Fast.
And pancetta really doesn't. In the soup, there's still a little bit of a chew to it. You feel like you're eating a piece of meat instead of a crispy bite. And the problem is it gets crisp, but then you put it in soup and it gets limp, but
Right.
it doesn't get chewy. It's just weird. And
Nice.
I like the flavor of pancetta better
Better
anyway.
than bacon. So I
So-
notice here you've got some cooking stock. You've got chicken cooking stock here. Now, are you going to warm this up, or
Yeah,
can
I'm
get
going to
this
do
at
that. As soon as I
Macey's?
got this, I'm going to start this warming because when you put it in the soup, you want it already cooked.
heat it up?
Now, I like to use cooking stock, but you can use cooking broth. And the difference is when you make stock, you make it with the bones and all that good marrow, gelatinous yumminess. And
totally.
It's thicker, it's richer, it's got more depth of flavor. If you use broth, they usually make that more with the meat, by cooking the meat. So it's a little lighter, it's not quite as flavorful to me. And so I almost always use stock. And I've made my own once or twice, but it's kind of a pain, and then I have to figure out how to keep it and everything. And these are just so handy, and they're readily available at Macey's.
There you go.
So that's what I'm doing.
And you chose the unsalted version because
they didn't have the salted version. I know Aqua wants me
I was really hoping for a scientific background information.
She wants me to be helpful, and I'm just not. I like it
No,
salted,
you are.
and I'll end up putting a lot of salt in the recipe, so it doesn't matter. She's always hoping to convert me to being more helpful.
No. Well, just for
it's
those,
not going to happen to me.
there are maybe some people who have, they want more of an unsalted base, less sodium.
Well,
so you can,
high blood pressure.
High blood pressure and the work.
I am one of the few people, lucky people in the world, whose doctor says you need more salt and more caffeine in your diet.
Oh, no.
What happened is I have very low blood pressure. And I said, I know how to lower it, but how do you raise it? And he said, I don't know, salt and caffeine. I said, so potato chips and sodas, my new diet.
Oh, okay.
And so I don't worry about the unsalted because I need more salt.
Well, for you out there, if you don't want salt, there you go. From Macey's.
And for a lot of people, it's very important.
Exactly.
Not to have
too much salt. Yes, right.
Especially if you have high blood pressure.
Exactly.
So I've got these on a little hot. You just want to fry this up until the onions start turning translucent.
Okay, and
that'll take a minute or two.
There you go. When it goes clear, fantastic. Oh, that smells so good. Oh, did you add your sage?
Not yet, not until it's cooked.
Oh my goodness.
And then we'll add this, and we'll add tomato paste.
Oh, tomato paste. So why tomato paste and not tomatoes? Plum tomatoes. You've got lots of the tomatoes in your backyard.
I do. Don't you love how she says tomatoes?
Tomatoes, absolutely. Yes, anyway.
This is just very concentrated, so it just packs a ton more flavor without all the wateriness. It doesn't add all that liquid. It's really intense tomato flavor, and it works as a thickener. It'll make the soup a little thicker. And I like to buy them like this. You can buy tomato paste in cans, but once you've opened it, it's open, and it gets that weird tinny flavor.
That's right.
And I love it in this because you can squeeze out a little bit, put the lid on, stick it in the fridge. Now I'm going to use the whole thing tonight, but I like to use these instead of the cans because they keep better.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, my last question before we go, we're going to go to break and then come back.
When we come back, we can finish
everything off. But also, my question is, what if you did use fresh tomatoes but squeeze out all the water? Could you do that? Could you still get the same result? Or are you saying this has, if you look at the ingredients or the flavors that you need, that you wouldn't get in a tomato?
I don't know that there's very much in there that isn't tomatoes. Ingredients, tomatoes.
There you go.
Yeah, no, you won't get as much because you can't squeeze all the water out of a tomato.
That's true.
Tomatoes are mostly
you have
water.
To dehydrate them, wouldn't you?
This has got to be a gazillion tomatoes stuck in this tube.
Stuck in a tube.
And it's the way to go.
Well, really fabulous. As Tracey continues to stir her pancetta and the onion, and I think that was it.
That's it so far.
Becomes translucent, and her stock is on the stove.
Not heating up.
It's not heating up because we just turned it on. We are going to return. We're going to take a short break right here, and then we're going to come back if we're not gassed out.
Trying to blow us up,
and where we will put the other remaining ingredients together to create this delicious soup.
I wish you could smell
Italian soup. Yes, exactly. So stay tuned for that. Buongiorno. That's all I know. Okay.
Yeah, that's her whole Italian vocabulary.
Welcome back to Macey's Cooking Corner. We have the lovely Tracey Armstrong. And buongiorno. Was it buongiorno? I knew that really. It almost sounds like bonjour en français.
Yeah.
But we are cooking Italian tonight. And we have pancetta. What is it?
Pancetta and bean soup.
Pancetta and bean soup. It smells absolutely glorious. The onions are lovely. They're yummy. And now we've chopped up half an onion. We have 10 ounces of pancetta on the stove. And we have our stock that is warming up. Now we're going to transfer this to a deeper pan and start really creating and putting everything together to create our soup.
And
so here we go.
Actually do this frying part in this bigger pan if you want. I just want you to be able to see it. So I did it in a more shallow pan.
That's
Usually, so it's really kind of a one pot soup, except you do have to have your stock warmed up. So you use a second one in the end.
So like
I keep
saying,
stepping off camera.
Oh, please bring
I'm
your
sorry. My spoon.
Now her spoon. I said I love things that look like they've been handmade. And look at this with the little handle. Now tell us a little bit about your spoon.
Well, I'm a bit of an Anglophile, which is probably why I like you
That's
so
right.
much.
We're so connected.
I love England.
The energy's great, huh?
I love to go to the Renaissance festivals. Wherever I've lived, I've always gone to the Renaissance festivals. And at the ones up at Thanksgiving Point and up in Ogden area, there is a man that sits there and hand carves out all these beautiful tools, spoons and mallets and bowls, and just wonderful. And I almost always go, and my husband always cries when I go in there because I spend too much money in that guy's tent. But he makes beautiful hardwood spoons and sells them.
What wood is it?
I'm not sure. This one I've had them by a lot of them, and he can make it even from the soft ones, the pine, but I don't like them. I like the hardwood, the alder and the cherry and some of those. And this might be alder, but I'm not sure. He'll probably see this and roll his eyes. Anyway.
That's fantastic. I love it.
I love to watch him make them. He even gave me a blank so that I could come home and make it, and I haven't done that yet. But okay, so we've got our pancetta and our onions cooking. I have a little bit of sage, which I grew in my garden and dehydrated.
Told me how to do that.
And so,
I like that.
And I don't know how to tell you how much. I usually just put in a couple of sprinkles, maybe a teaspoon, because I like sage.
Yes.
And I mix it in there.
Smell.
And then I use 1 tube of, I've got to get this on the camera, the tomato paste.
All natural tomato paste, which you can get here.
I said yes. I like this better than the cans because you can seal it back up and use it as you will. But I just use the whole tube, and that may be a little extreme, but I like it, so I do it.
So she does it.
And I got the original recipe from Mario Batali, the Iron Chef, and someday I would love to actually eat his food.
Eat his food, go to his restaurant, or meet him.
Yeah,
why not go all the way and say, I'm going to meet that guy?
Well, I want not just food from his restaurant. I want food that he cooked, because I guarantee you it's going to be better
than what you're doing.
Well, or even that his other chefs are doing. Because you can copy the master, but it's never
the
as
same
good as the master.
That's right.
So we're just adding the tomato paste. So it's very thick.
Very thick.
And
tomatoey.
Tomatoey.
Yes.
And we're just going to cook that for just a second to let that kind of infuse and get warm. We just want it to get warmed up. And that's why we're warming up the stock, is so that everything's nice and warm. I can see the steam starting to come off that, so that's just good. We don't want to cook it, so I'm going to turn it to low. But I've got this.
So then you have in here, look at this little,
it's
I love her little, okay, I'll let you open it. I feel like I'm going to break it.
No.
Oh, look at that.
It's just a salt box.
Oh,
and I
love it.
I always use kosher salt because
I like kosher salt.
And kosher salt has nothing to do with like
it being kosher and
Jewish. No, it's got nothing to do with that. It's about the size and the coarseness of it.
Oh, okay.
But it somehow it translates into a deeper, better flavor without being as overtly salty.
Right.
So
Do you add this to it, or do you do this at the end?
I usually do it once the stock is in and everything, and I can see. And I have a very high salt
do you?
tolerance.
Oh.
I like a lot of salt, and my body wants salt, so I do it.
Well, that's very different.
Yeah. the last thing we're going to do is cannellini beans, and these are just small Italian white beans. And I imagine you could use pretty much any.
So could you could do your own. Get dried beans, soak them, cook them yourself.
Yep.
Okay, if you've got lots of time,
so
this is an easy way to do it,
I need all of them. I'm putting in 4 cans now.
4 cans of
when I make it at
cannellini.
home, I usually put in 6 because I love beans.
Oh, okay.
But
you could do your own.
you can do, and
Or
if you like
use other beans.
If you like it soupier, then put a little less in. If you like it thick, more like a stew or ragu, then put more in.
Okay.
And it's, that's what I said. I got the basic recipe from Mario Batali, but you really can. And I didn't put any garlic in, and it doesn't need
I was
it.
just going to say, did he put
No.
any? Oh.
Believe me, if he had, I grow so much garlic. I plant 300 heads of garlic a year. And
how many again?
300 heads.
300 heads. I mean,
And
I can't even fathom that.
I use them.
Really? 300?
Yeah. Now,
So are you ever sick?
part of it,
You can't get sick that.
well, I can get sick because despite growing and cooking beautiful, wonderful food, I live on potato chips and chocolate a lot of my
This is
life.
it, and lots of salt. So what can I say?
Hey,
this
I need
is
the
true.
salt.
Okay,
need
this
the
is what they
salt.
tell you, right?
Okay, now I'm going to grab my hot pads. I'm sorry, I'm going off camera again. I'll be right back
Wonderful, wonderful.
because this is hot. And
Okay.
I'm pouring in the
So we've got
the
this stock
warm
going
stock.
in. Oh, look at that.
And sometimes I don't pour it all in, but I'll just go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
And then I take a taste
Ooh,
because you should
no
always
way.
taste your food.
Yes. And look at that. And the
just-
colors are wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
Can you
that
see
might
that?
be hot.
Oh, yeah. Oh, ah.
Can you see that?
This one you shouldn't do. Yes, beautiful.
And so
Beautiful colors.
all good chefs taste their food.
Do they? Okay, I'm going to let you taste first.
Boy, it needs salt.
It does, really?
It does.
Even
to
with
me.
the pancetta? Because, you know.
The pancetta is well, do you want
salty.
to taste it?
I think I will, actually, yes.
It's very warm.
Is it very warm? Mm-hmm. Oh, so you don't need any spices, herbs, salt?
Not for this. This is a really, well, you got the sage and salt and pepper. And you've got the depth of the tomato flavor. It's a very simple soup. It is not a very complicated, they're layering of flavors.
But you can definitely add what you want to it
You
to
can.
make it your own.
But I like this because it's just a clean, lovely, tomatoey, beany, bacony deliciousness.
I like that, yeah.
So do you think it needs salt?
Oh, maybe a little bit, yes.
Okay.
That's
So-
true, isn't that amazing? Because I was expecting more of a, you know, bacon, how you can add salt to bacon.
Yeah,
and
it's a
make
little
it,
bit
but it's
much.
not.
But and I use a lot of pepper, and I'll put some in. Now I have turned into a pepper snob. I like only fresh ground pepper. We can thank Alton Brown for that.
Is that right?
And so I pepper it, and then just make sure it's heated through, and really, that's it. And I make it every week, and I put it in a pitcher in my fridge.
I think you should put some in this little bowl so I can taste some on before we finish up, because can you believe how fast? That was fast. I feel like
we're out of time, and the soup's cooked, but we haven't had a chance to
and
eat
put
it.
some sauce in it.
I
Yeah,
was
well, I'm
trying,
going to eat it in front of our audience here. Wonderful. Look at that beautiful. Can we do that? Oh.
It is fabulous.
I'm scared of just tipping it there. See? Oh, out there. Okay, I don't need to come forward. Anyway, I will get you a better picture there. So here we go. Let's try that. That's good.
I love it. It's my favorite.
Wow, I like the chewy, the beans,
Yeah, there's a
and
lot
the
of
onions. I really do love
There's
onions.
a lot of good textures in it.
Yeah.
And it
allows you
really
to-
does have a good depth of flavor without being complicated.
Absolutely.
And this is something I have in my house all the time. I
I
buy the
can make
pancetta
that, yeah.
and I freeze it. And
I can see my kids eating this.
So
I really can.
I buy a bunch at a time, freeze it. I always have the beans. I always have chicken stock, and I always have tomato paste. And
Easy.
I've always got the ingredients on
Let's
hand.
just, thank you, Tracey.
My
Easy
pleasure.
beans, pancetta, onions, and
Tomatoes.
tomato concentrate or paste. That's it. And some sage, salt and pepper. Easy peasy.
It's wonderful.
Thank you so much for
Sure.
a little bit of a taste of Italy.
Taste of
And
Iron
we're going to
Chef.
say ciao to all of you. Thank you so much for watching this episode.
Say ciao,
Thank
baby.
you. Yeah, ciao,
Ciao,
baby.
baby.
Thank you, Tracey, for being on our show and teaching us a few things about the Renaissance and also about Italy.
Sure.
We
It's
look
been
forward
fun.
to seeing you again, audience. And ciao, Ben. What'd you say? Oh.
Oh, I was doing the crazy guy on the movie. Ciao, baby.
Oh, ciao, baby. Okay. Anyway, we will see you again another day.
Bye-bye.